Question: at times, are you your own worst enemy? What? Let's talk about it. Hi, this is Jan from New York City, and my channel name is Jan from New York City Saves Money. How you doing today? Hope that this video finds everybody doing well, and welcome to all the new viewers and subscribers, and a humble thank you for the veteran viewers and subscribers. Thank you so much. Listen, I want to talk to you today about being your worst enemy. I think that one of the things that could possibly make every single one of us our own worst enemy is that there are times that we tend to put the pressure on way too much. Let's think of a valve, a steam valve, for example. You turn it on to release some pressure. You turn it a little more and you're releasing some more pressure. And then you turn it to the maximum and it all over the place. This is what could happen to us in a way, so to speak. And I think during stressful times, no matter when the stressful times are, whether it's stressful times like of the moment of right now, or stressful times of like the moment of a year from now, or what might have happened a few years ago, do you beat yourself up unnecessarily, mentally, from many of the past mistakes that you might have made? We all tend to do that. There's a wonderful channel out there called The Long Run with Joel and Christy. And I will always love them, and I will always shout out this channel. What a wonderful couple. Let me tell you something. There's some fantastic recipes and some really good money-saving tips. I highly recommend this channel. But the reason I'm bringing them up also at this moment is that at the end of the show, you'll always hear someone say, give yourself a little grace. Honestly, I've never heard that expression. I've never heard that. I should have heard it, but I've never heard that expression until then. And I thought about this. I'm like, give yourself a little grace. Wow. Do you give yourself a little grace at times? Or are you striving for perfection plus? Let me tell you something. There is no such thing as perfection plus. I'll give you another example. Recently, I was doing my taxes. And I do it through a software, company that's really, really good. And there was this one facet of this thing that was preventing me from filing it quickly and easily. Just one misunderstanding, but I didn't give up. But I noticed I was putting a little too much pressure on me to get the job done. So what I did was I implemented the time blocks, the working blocks thing. So I would give myself, let's say, an hour or two maximum to do this. And it was always the same thing. Everything else was perfect, but it was always the same thing. This one thing came out, and all it was a misunderstanding of a question. So when I did my research, but first I did this, I gave me a little grace. Yes, and I was thinking of you guys, Joel and Christy, when I gave myself that little grace. I took a whole day off from the project because I'm the type of person that I like to get the job done. I'm just one of those stickler people. So at first it was hard to adjust to the fact that on this day I'm not going to jump into working that thing. But I said, you know what? By taking this time, by giving myself that little grace, I'm going to get the job done. Can I tell you something? The very next day, I tackle the problem. I tackle the issue. It's just a misunderstanding of one question. And when I read it again and did some research, filled in the answer properly, and zoop, all gone, all done. That thing is now a memory. And I did something else. I wrote down for the future regarding that thing so that if it comes up again, this type of question, there won't be any misunderstanding. It was about a schedule. One of those schedules with the letter next to it. So I just had a question about that. That's all it was. Because I'm the type, I'm going to keep going and going and going until it destroys me mentally. I'm that type of person. I like to have certain things done. But I am so glad that I implemented that give myself a little grace thing that day off from doing that task changed the whole complexity. What felt like this enormous, incredible thing, when I got to it the next day, it was like literally, it was like much smaller, practically minutia, because I was raring to go. I was ready, and I did, just take a calmer approach to it. I'm the type of person, I just want things done. That's just the way it is. I can't help it, but I did help it. Has anything like that ever happened to you? Do you give yourself a little grace? Let's go back to saving money for a minute. Now you're like, gee, I can't save. I can't this. I can't that. Maybe part of the problem is that you might be saying that dialogue to yourself. You might be giving yourself negative speak, so to say. If you're echoing in the back of your mind all the can'ts, maybe it's more like you won't. Just saying. Turn the dialogue over to, I will do this. It may not happen fast. It may not happen overnight, but I'm going to give me some grace to take that little bit of time to accomplish that goal. There's no race. There's no competition. You see, once I recognized that in the instance that I was just describing, I'm like, wait a minute, there is no race. There is no competition. There's plenty of time over April 15th. That's another thing. I always allow myself extra time, like if there's a very important task. And I find that to be extremely helpful. So if you give yourself two things, give yourself some grace and give yourself some extra time, you will find that it makes an incredible difference. I was just like, after the whole thing was over, said and done, I was just so happy because I didn't give up. To be honest with you, I was on the verge of like saying, I'm going to, do something different about this, but it worked out. I'm just so thrilled that it worked out. What did I want? Oh, the same thing regarding if you started a channel. I'm just mentioning this to anybody that decided to start a channel or thinking about a channel. Your results are not, and I repeat this in bold print, it is not going to happen overnight. This July 22nd makes 4 years, over 1,000 videos later. And still, honestly, the subscriber count could have been a little better, in my opinion. But some of it was my fault. No, I'll take the blame for all of it. Because in the beginning, actually, I just like resisted a lot of things. People were inviting me to collabs and things of that nature. I was like, I don't want to do a collab. I didn't even know what a collab was at the time. Hey, I'm just admitting the truth. But I did give myself a little grace. I said, you know what? Turn on the reset button and just do what the right thing is. And hopefully it'll work out. So that's okay. The main thing is I get out important messages to you guys, and that's what counts, right? Right. There you go. In the meantime, this has been Jan from New York City. Let me know in the comment section below if you give yourself too much pressure, or do you at least once in a while permit yourself to give yourself a little grace. And thanks again, Joel and Christy. Please head on over to their channel. I'm going to link up a video in the description box below. The Long Run with Joel and Christy. There you go. Have an amazing, fantastic day. I'm going to find a closing song. Where's my closing music? Let's try this. Wow, this computer gave me some extra grace today. Have an amazing, fantastic day, and come back again when? Real soon. Take good care, everybody. Bye-bye.